Hello there, this is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? So in today's video, which is of course an ASMR video meant to help you relax and fall asleep whilst learning something on this channel, we're going to do another installment of our learning about different cities around the world. In this series of videos we look first at Google Earth, and then we open the Wikipedia article and learn some more facts and figures about the city we've chosen. So in today's video we're going to start off with the Big Apple, New York, New York, and then we're going to read the article. We're going to do two more cities after that, so stick around. One is going to be in Europe, the other one is going to be in Australasia, so stick around for those as well, all in this video. So New York, as we know, is in the United States. It's on the East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, that's right. And New York is just here. It's also the name of the state. So New York is the name of the state, which includes Buffalo, Rochester, and many others. Syracuse, for example. Albany. Is Albany the capital of this? Because I don't know Erie as well. Oh no, Erie might be. No, Erie's in Pennsylvania. Because New York City, growing up, I thought was the capital of the US. Because through films and TV programs, it's all about New York, New York. And so I just assumed as a child that it was the capital of the US. It is, however, the most populated city in the US, and usually the most populated cities in a country are the capitals, but not in this occasion. And we've done a deep dive into New York previously on this channel, but obviously there are the different areas. And we can see here things like Brooklyn. So I'm guessing Jersey City is in the next state over, right? Because it sort of cuts down. Can you see the... So that's Long Island Sound. But I think I watched a video and only this much of Long Island is technically New York City. And I'm just going to name some places I've heard of. Queens, Staten Island I've heard of, Manhattan, of course, with Times Square. Oh yes, that's what I usually do, so I click on this and we look at the photos. So New York City comprises 5 boroughs, sitting where the Hudson River meets the Atlantic Ocean. At its core is Manhattan, a densely populated borough that's among the world's major commercial, financial and cultural centres. Its iconic sites include skyscrapers such as the Empire State Building and sprawling Central Park, which you can see in the middle here. Broadway Theatre is staged in neon-lit Times Square. So good that the arts should be centre stage, of course. So fun fact, New York, despite the really heavy winter that it gets and all that snow, well, there's a fun fact about this island as well, because technically it's in the water of New Jersey, but it belongs to New York. Anyway, so it's like an enclave within New Jersey. New York is actually more southerly than most of the British Isles. The British Isles are more northerly, but obviously we don't get that much snow, and it's because of the current bringing all the warm water up from the Caribbean, which is why where I live in Wales is wet all year round, but not freezing. And there's all these doomsday videos, if you watch them, about what happens when that current stops, because it could happen in our lifetime. So if you look, because obviously you need to adjust for the curvature of the Earth, so it's not a straight line, but New York is there, yeah, way more, it's like where Spain is. And yet when you think how hot Spain is, and it doesn't really snow in lowland Spain, maybe in the mountains here and there in the Pyrenees it does. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Okay, so let's go to the pre-prepared Wikipedia article. Here's what I prepared earlier. So New York City, I think that's the Empire State, yeah. New York, often called New York City or NYC, is the most populous city in the US. It is located at the southern tip of New York State on New York Harbor, one of the world's largest natural harbors. The city comprises 5 boroughs, each coextensive with its respective county. It is the geographical and demographic center of both the Northeast megalopolis and the New York metropolitan area, the largest metropolitan area in the US by both population and urban area. New York is a global center of finance and commerce, culture, technology, entertainment and media, academics and scientific output, the arts and fashion, and as home to the headquarters of the United Nations international diplomacy. Some sites, we have the UN headquarters, the Statue of Liberty, Times Square, Unisphere, Central Park, which is incredible when you think about it, Brooklyn Bridge, Verrazzano Narrows Bridge, and the New York Botanical Garden Library. The flag is reminiscent of France, isn't it? That's the seal. Nicknames the Big Apple, the city that never sleeps, Gotham, and others. Oh yeah, that's the actual state flag. What's that then? It doesn't look. So it was settled 402 years ago, consolidated 128, named after York in England through James the Duke of York. Prior to that, of course, it was controlled by the Dutch. Maybe it'll say that in the article, where it was called New Amsterdam, I believe, which is where Haarlem comes from, because Haarlem is a place in the Netherlands just to the north of Amsterdam. I've said that loads of times, it's like my one little factoid. And Zoran Mamdani is the mayor. Try not to get into politics on this channel, but I'm a fan. Population is 8.8 million. And that is obviously first in the United States. And in the urban area it is 19.4 million. That's incredible. To put it into context, my entire country is 3.1 million. And I'm trying to think, if you combined Wales and the Republic of Ireland together, we'd only just hit 8.8. I think off the top of my head there's like 5 million in Ireland and 3.1 in Wales, so yeah, that's 8.1, so it's still not enough. New Yorker, or pronounced New Yorker, is the demonym. I'm not going to try and do a New York accent, don't worry. Time zone is the UTC -5, but in the summer it's -4. So you're currently only 4 hours behind us here in the UK. with an estimated population in July 24 of 8.4 million, distributed over just 300 square miles or 778 kilometers squared. The city is the most densely populated major city in the United States. I don't think it is the most densely populated in the world. I think that goes to somewhere like Singapore or Hong Kong. New York City has more than double the population of Los Angeles, the second most populous city. Wow, really? I suppose this is the same in the UK. London has 10 million, but the next biggest is Birmingham with 1 million, so it's like considerably larger. Over 20 million people live in New York City's metropolitan statistical area, and 23.5 in its combined statistical area as of 2020, both the largest in the US. New York City is one of the world's most populous mega cities. The city and its metropolitan area serve as the premier gateway for legal immigration to the United States. An estimated 800 languages are spoken in NYC, making it the most linguistically diverse city in the world. Yeah, I would love that. The New York City metropolitan region is home to the largest foreign-born population of any metropolitan region in the world, approximately 5.9 million as of 2023. Oh, here we go. New York City traces its origins to Fort Amsterdam and a trading post founded on Manhattan Island by Dutch colonists around 1624. The settlement was named New Amsterdam in 1626 and was chartered as a city in 1653. The city came under English control in 1664 and was temporarily renamed New York after King Charles II granted the lands to his brother the Duke of York. Before this name was permanently adopted in 1674. Following independence from Great Britain, the city was the national capital of the US. Oh, it was! From 1785 until 1790, only 5 years, and I'm not that old. The modern city was formed by the 1898 consolidation of its 5 boroughs. Here we go: Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx and Staten Island. Anchored by Wall Street in the financial district, Manhattan, New York City has been called both the world's premier financial and fintech, I don't know how to pronounce that word, fintech center, and the most economically powerful city in the world. As of 2022, the New York metropolitan area is the largest metropolitan economy in the world, with a gross metropolitan product of over 2.16 trillion US dollars. The New York metropolitan area's economy is larger than all but 9 countries. Despite having a 24/7 rapid transit system, New York also leads the world in urban automobile traffic congestion. The city is home to the world's 2 largest stock exchanges by market capitalization of their listed companies, the New York Stock Exchange and Nasdaq. NYC is an established haven for global investors. As of 2025, NYC is the most expensive city in the world for expatriates, and has by a wide margin the highest residential rents of any American city. Oh dear. Fifth Avenue is the most expensive shopping street in the world. New York City is home to the highest number of billionaires, individuals of ultra-high net worth, greater than 30 million US dollars, and millionaires of any city in the world by a significant margin. Etymology: in 1664, New York was named in honour of the Duke of York, later King James II of England. James's elder brother, King Charles II, appointed him proprietor of the former territory of New Netherland, including the city of New Amsterdam, when England seized it from Dutch control. New Netherland was renamed the province of New York, now New York State. Fascinating. Okay, So onward and upward to our next destination. We're going to go across the pond to Europe for city number 2, and we are going to go somewhere here. Can you guess if I go a little bit closer? A little bit closer. Berlin. Berlin, the capital of Germany. For those of you not familiar where Germany is, we can see Western Europe here. It's sort of in Central Europe, and also for political reasons, particularly when I was growing up, considered to be Western Europe. And we can see the UK, France, Spain, Netherlands, Belgium, Italy, Switzerland, Austria, Czechia, Poland, and Germany just below Denmark. And Berlin is over on the eastern side. So, Berlin, Germany's capital, dates to the 13th century. Reminders of the city's turbulent 20th century history include its Holocaust memorial and the Berlin Wall's graffitied remains. Divided during the Cold War, its 18th century Brandenburg Gate has become a symbol of reunification. The city is also known for its art scene and modern landmarks like the gold-coloured soup-roofed Berliner Philharmonie. Oh, that's not it. Built in 1963. That's the telecommunications pole. That's on Alexanderplatz, I think. I took a boat tour. It's a really good one. The river runs right the way through, and you can just see all of the major things just by boat. Beautiful photo. It is very artsy. I've said before on this channel, so forgive me if I've repeated myself. The first time I ever went to Berlin, I've been twice or 3 times, I forget, definitely twice. And I was just backpacking, and we stopped for a night and then carried on. And we were in like what I realise now was the eastern part. All these like buildings that were like crumbling. But there was someone doing like 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, some sculpturing. And so we went in and just watched them welding some metal to create a sculpture. Just like they had an open art studio. You just walked in, didn't have to pay. Just walked in as we, going for drinks and food and stuff, and just watched this person welding some metal. Just utterly bizarre, but it says practically everything about Berlin. Very artsy place. Okay, let's read about it then. Berlin, capital and largest city of Germany. Nice picture there. Berlin is the capital of Germany as well as its largest city by both area and population, with 3.7 million inhabitants. It has the highest population within its city limits of any city in the European Union. Now that London's left, now that the UK has left. Although I believe that Paris is in with a shout, but not within its city limits. Paris' city limits is surprisingly small. It needs the urban area to be the largest. The city is also one of the states of Germany, being the 3rd smallest state in the country by area. Berlin is surrounded by the state of Brandenburg, bordering Brandenburg's capital Potsdam to the southwest. The urban area of Berlin has a population of over 4.6 million, making it the most populous in Germany. The Berlin-Brandenburg capital region has around 6.2 million inhabitants and is Germany's 2nd largest metropolitan region after the Rhine-Ruhr region in the west, as well as the 5th biggest metropolitan region by GDP in the European Union. So this river is the Spree, with the Berlin TV tower and the Red Town Hall in Mitte. That is the very beautiful Brandenburg Gate, the Reichstag, the Parliament building, the Gendarmenmarkt, the Berlin Cathedral and the Potsdamer Platz. And that's the flag, and the coat of arms nickname is the Grey City. Spree Aten, or the Athens on the Spree River. It's in the state of Berlin. The 3.5 million in the city itself, 5th in Europe, 1st in Germany. Urban density by comparison, what was it for? It was something incredibly high for New York, 4,000 people per kilometre squared, 10,000 per square mile. If you come from Germany, Berlin, you are a Berliner, or a Berlinerin if you are a girl in German. And it is the UTC +1, but in the summer it's +2. Oh, I didn't realise that. And it's .berlin is the berlin.de is the website. Berlin was built along the banks of the Spree River, which flows into the Havel in the western borough of Spandau. The city includes lakes in the western and southeastern boroughs, the largest of which is the Müggelsee. About 1/3 of the city's area is composed of forests, parks and gardens, rivers, canals and lakes. First documented in the 13th century, and at the crossing of two important historic trade routes, Berlin was designated the capital of the Margraviat of Brandenburg, the Kingdom of Prussia, the German Empire, the Weimar Republic, and Nazi Germany. Berlin served as a scientific, artistic, and philosophical hub during the Age of Enlightenment, Neoclassicism, and the German revolutions of 1848 to 49. During the Gründerzeit, an industrialization-induced economic boom triggered by a rapid population increase in Berlin. 1920s Berlin was the 3rd largest city in the world by population. Crikey. After World War II and following Berlin's occupation, the city was split into West and East Berlin, divided by the Berlin Wall. East Berlin was declared the capital of East Germany, while Bonn became the West German capital. Following German reunification in 1990, Berlin once again became the capital of all of Germany. Due to its geographic location and history, Berlin has been called the heart of Europe. Berlin is a global city of culture, politics, media, and science. Its economy is based on high tech and the service sector, encompassing a diverse range of creative industries, startup companies, research facilities, and media corporations. Berlin serves as a continental hub for air and rail traffic and has a complex public transportation network. Tourism in Berlin makes the city a popular global destination. Significant industries include information technology, the healthcare industry, biomedical engineering, biotechnology, the automotive industry, and electronics. Berlin is home to several universities, such as the Humboldt University of Berlin, Technische Universität Berlin, the Berlin University of the Arts, and the Free University of Berlin. The Berlin Zoological Garden is the most visited zoo in Europe. I think I've been there twice. Babelsberg Studio is the world's first large-scale movie studio complex, and there are many films set in Berlin. Berlin is home to 3 World Heritage Sites: Museum Island, the palaces and parks of Potsdam and Berlin, and the Berlin Modernism housing estates. Other landmarks include the Brandenburg Gate, the Reichstag building, Potsdamer Platz, the Memorial to the Murdered Jews of Europe, and the Berlin Wall Memorial. Berlin has numerous museums, galleries, and libraries. Etymology. Berlin lies in northeastern Germany, in an area formerly settled by Slavs, which thus exhibits many Germanized Slavic-derived place names until today. The word Berlin also has its roots in the language of the West Slavs and may be related to the old Polabian stem berl, or birl, meaning swamp. Of Berlin's 12 boroughs, 5 bear a Slavic-derived name: Pankow, Steglitz, Zehlendorf, Merzahn-Hellersdorf, Treptow-Köpenick, and Spandau. Furthermore, across the city's 96 neighbourhoods, there are 22 which bear a Slavic-rooted name, including Alt-Glienicke, Pankow, Steglitz, Tegel, and Zehlendorf. Sehr cool. Okay, so let's go on to our final destination. Not like in the movies, no final destination, that's it. Okay, so we've been to New York and Berlin, and I promised you one in Oceania. Where are we going? We're gonna go to Sydney. So just to establish where Sydney is, we are in the continent of Australia, in Oceania. I think when I was a kid we used to call it Australasia when we talked about the continent itself. And also, when I was a kid I think it was considered an island and not a continent, but I do get quite confused. It would be the largest island in the world, but it's considered a continent instead. Sydney, the capital of New South Wales and one of Australia's largest cities, is best known for its harbour-front Sydney Opera House, with a distinctive sail-like design. It's one of my big things. I'd really like to go there. My mum has been, and I'm so jealous. Massive Darling Harbour and the smaller circular Quay Port are hubs of the waterside life, with the arched harbour bridge and esteemed Royal Botanic Garden nearby. Sydney Tower's outdoor platform, the Skywalk, offers 360-degree views of the city and suburbs. I've heard it's very, very expensive these days, though. There's the harbour bridge, and that's the Opera House. I've said this before when we've looked at Sydney, but it looks so British, that does. And yet, to me, that looks so American. It is that sort of mix between the two cultures, really. That's the Skywalk, then, I assume. You would not catch me out there. I'm so scared of heights. So pretty. It's a really lovely place. Yeah, my mum went there on a cruise. That could be Scotland, like Edinburgh or something. Very cool. Okay, so let's learn a little bit about it then, shall we? Sydney. So it's the capital of the state of New South Wales, but not of the country, of course. It's one of those quiz questions that people ask. Canberra is the capital of Australia. Sydney is the capital of the state of New South Wales. Hello from actual Wales. And the most populous city in Australia. Located on Australia's east coast, the metropolis surrounds Sydney Harbour and extends about 80 kilometres or 50 miles from the Pacific Ocean in the east to the Blue Mountains in the west, and about 80 kilometres or 50 miles from Ku-ring-gai Chase National Park, apologies for butchering the names, and the Hawkesbury River in the north and northwest, to the Royal National Park in Macarthur in the south and southwest. Greater Sydney consists of 658 suburbs spread across 33 local government areas. Residents of the city are colloquially known as Sydneysiders. I've never heard that before. The estimated population in June 24 was 5.5 million, which is about 66% of the state's population. The city's nicknames include the Emerald City and the Harbour City. So we've got Sydney Opera House and Harbour Bridge, Queen Victoria Building, University of Sydney, Bondi Beach, Archibald Fountain and St Mary's Cathedral, and the Sydney District, the Central Business District. So that's the Opera House and the Harbour Bridge. That's the Elizabeth, whatever it said. Bondi Beach. Lovely. So we've discovered it's there. 66%, that's because basically no one lives inland in Australia. So Australia, New South Wales, established 238 years ago on the 26th of January 1788. Of course, the funny story to those that don't know is, I say funny, it's not funny, is that Australia was sort of where the UK used to drop off all its criminals. So we would literally put criminals on boats and as punishment sail them to this deserted desert island in the middle of the ocean called Australia. And now they just kick our ass at sports to get back at us. Population density 5.5, first in the country. Density is 449.3 kilometres squared, or 1,164 square miles. It is UTC plus 10, but in the summer months it's 11. And the county is Cumberland. There is evidence that Aboriginal Australians inhabited the Greater Sydney region at least 30,000 years ago, and their engravings and cultural sites are common. The traditional custodians of the land on which modern Sydney stands are the clans of the Darug, Darawal and Eora. During his first Pacific voyage in 1770, James Cook charted the eastern coast of Australia, making landfall at Botany Bay. In 1788, the first fleet of convicts, led by Arthur Phillip, founded Sydney as a British penal colony. The first European settlement in Australia. After World War II, Sydney experienced mass migration, and by 2021 over 40% of the population was born overseas. Foreign countries of birth with the greatest representation are mainland China, India, the United Kingdom, Vietnam and the Philippines. Despite being one of the most expensive cities in the world, Sydney frequently ranks in the top 10 most livable cities. It is classified as an Alpha Plus city by the Globalization and World Cities Research Network. indicating its influence in the region and throughout the world. Ranked 11th in the world for economic opportunity, Sydney has an advanced market economy with strengths in education, finance, manufacturing and tourism. The University of Sydney and the University of New South Wales are ranked 18th and 19th in the world respectively. Sydney has hosted major international sporting events such as the 2000 Summer Olympics, the 2003 Rugby World Cup final, and the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup final. The city is among the top 15 most visited cities worldwide, with millions of tourists coming each year to see the city's landmarks. The city has over 1 million hectares, or 2.5 million acres, of nature reserves and parks, and its notable natural features include Sydney Harbour and Royal National Park. The Sydney Harbour Bridge and the World Heritage listed Sydney Opera House are major tourist attractions. Central Station is the hub of Sydney's suburban train, metro and light rail networks and longer distance services. The main passenger airport serving the city is Kingsford Smith Airport, one of the world's oldest continually operating airports. Toponymy. In 1788, Captain Arthur Phillip, the first governor of New South Wales, named the cove where the first British settlement was established Sydney Cove, after Home Secretary Thomas Townshend, 1st Viscount Sydney. The cove was called Warane by the Aboriginal inhabitants. Phillip considered naming the settlement Albion, but this name was never officially used. By 1790, Phillip and other officials were regularly calling the township Sydney. Sydney was declared a city in 1842. The Gadigal or Cadigal clan, whose territory stretches along the southern shore of Port Jackson, from South Head to Darling Harbour, are the traditional owners of the land on which the British settlement was initially established, and call their territory Gadi or Cadi. Aboriginal clan names within the Sydney region were often formed by adding the suffix gal to a word denoting the name for their territory, a specific place in their territory, a food source or totem. Greater Sydney covers the traditional lands of 28 known Aboriginal clans. There we are then. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this one as much as you enjoyed the previous two. I'll put a little link somewhere here to those ones. And if you enjoyed the video and made it this far, then click like, leave a comment. Don't forget to join me on Patreon and subscribe for lots of videos like this in the future, and check out the ones I've already done as well. And as before, I'm taking requests, so leave a comment with the city you want me to look at in the next edition. The next series I'm going to update is going to be the ones on countries. We've already done Canada, and I think we did Pakistan, and I can't remember where else we did. Somewhere else. Memorable video, obviously. So I'm also taking requests for countries as well. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you get some good sleep, or you're nice and relaxed,